My artist name is Legowelt. We're here in Scheveningen today on the North Sea coast to celebrate basically the 30th anniversary of the Roland D50 synthesizer, and well, all his family is here too, his other Roland buddies like the Jupiter 8, and there's some Genos there too. I'm also going to show the brand new Roland D-05 Boutique series, which is a complete Roland D50 in a little box, and with some extra luxurious stuff added to it. I must have heard the Roland D50, I guess, when I was a little kid in the late 80s and early 90s, because well, its sound was everywhere, you know, in all kinds of music, like top 40 pop hits and a lot of soundtracks. So yeah, how do you call it? Subconscious, or I must have heard it everywhere. Yeah. Well, the D50 is kind of a unique synthesizer because it was, of course, back then probably the first affordable digital synthesizer. Well, maybe not, but in a new way, because it used samples and more classic synthesis together in a kind of sometimes a very experimental way. And yeah, another unique thing about it is it's very mysterious, because it's this black monolith kind of design. And of course everybody knows it from the presets that are in there, but it's not only the presets, because there's a very deep synthesis engine inside, and you can program a lot of really ethereal, weird sounds with it, especially pad sounds and how do you call those things, like evolving strings. And so it's a very fun synthesizer to program, because you can uncover all those mysteries. And it also has, of course, the typical Roland sound, which is kind of difficult to explain, I guess, because how would you explain it? It has a very mellow but pure tone, always, the old Roland stuff. And the D50, even though it was a digital synthesizer, also has that very pure mellow tone, and which makes it very pleasant sounding to the ears. And another thing, like I said maybe before, is that it's a very warm sounding synthesizer. I think the real power of the D50 is in the kind of ambient sounds, you know, new agey, more deeper techno or house music. You know, you can make some really experimental sounds with it, which you really cannot really get from like the usual analog synthesizers. Well, the cool thing about it is that it's a synthesizer with 4 oscillators. They call it parts, but you basically have 4 independent sound generators, each with its own filter and envelope generators, and all kinds of freaky stuff. And you can mix those 4 sounds together and detune them also, so you can get very harmonic sounds on one key also, which is that's very inspiring stuff. So I'm gonna show you some presets or patches I made the last couple of days. It was a lot of fun to do, because it's a very inspiring thing to design sounds. And this patch I show here is called Techno, but it's a kind of a digital sounding, very splashy, moody, dub techno sound, or how do you call it, style, I don't know. And for example, I can turn on the sequencer. Now it's just repeating this loop. And now I can, for example, go to the filter and filter the sounds with this little joystick here. And then find the sweet spot of the sound, you know. impression, or after having it for around a week, is yeah, I just love it, because it's basically like a real Roland D50, exactly the same, but in a little lightweight, a little portable boutique box with a built-in speaker also, and you can use batteries, so you can use it on the road, and yeah, you can bring it everywhere, put it on some crappy keyboard, and then just yeah, play with it, you know. And the cool thing is also that the original Roland PG-1000 programmer works faultlessly on it. Like I said, it's exactly the same as the D50, so you can connect it to the D50 and exchange everything and program even on the D50. So yeah, it's a nice little machine, and I'm glad I can keep it. Yes.